All right, for this video, we want to work out the gradient of this line and other gradients. But first, we're gonna start with this question. So the line L is drawn on a grid, and we've got to find the gradient of the line. Now, to work out the gradient, you can draw any gradient along the line, but I think I want to draw from here to here. So up here is 3, and across is 1. So the gradient is going to be 3 over 1, and that's going to be 3. So the gradient here is 3. And number 2, we have a line L, and we need to work out the gradient. So we can take the gradient from here, here, and up is 2, and across is 1. So the gradient is going to be 2 over 1. It's going to be 2. And again, another line. So we need to work out the gradient. And for the gradient, I would like to take from down here and across. So if we read the scale up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is 4, and across is just 1. So the gradient is going to be 4 over 1, which is going to be 4. And now this line, it goes in the opposite direction. And so we want to work out the gradient. And we can work out the gradient by drawing a line from here and across. Now, across is going to be 1, and up is going to be 3. But mind you, when you do your gradient this way, you're going to have a negative gradient. So it's going to be minus 3 over 1, and the gradient is going to be minus 3. Another one again. So you're going to draw a gradient from, I think I would like to make it a very simple case. So I have to draw from here across here. And up here is just 2, and here is just 1. I think 2 here. Okay, but the gradient is going to be negative, all right? So the gradient is going to be negative 2 over 2, which is definitely going to be minus 1. And for the next, to look at the gradient for this line L, I think I'm going to take a line from here and here. So up is going to be 1, across is going to be 2. So the gradient will be 1 over 2. Okay, and I think that's just it here, or 0.5, half of 0.5. And the next one, so we want to work out the gradient of the line that passes through this coordinate and the other coordinates. For this kind of question, I am going to use the formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now this here is x1 and y1, x2, y2. So y2 is going to be 10. Take away y1, which is 1. And x2 is 5. Take away x1, which is 2. And 10 minus 1 definitely going to be 9. And 5 minus 2 is going to be 3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the gradient of those two coordinates are 3, or it's going to be 3. The next one, number 8. So you want to work out the gradient for this. So what we're going to do, we're going to again go by the formula y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Again, this is x1, this is y1, x2, y2. So y2 is 0, take away y1, that's 4, and x2 on the bottom, that's 7, take away x1, which is 5. So 0 minus 4 is minus 4, and 7 minus 5 is 2. Now you're going to divide minus 4 divided by 2. So the answer is going to be minus 2. So the gradient here is minus 2. And then for this one, we want to work out the gradient of these two coordinates. Okay, so again, the gradient is given by the formula y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Now this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 is 8. Take away y1, which is definitely going to be 4, and divided by x2, that's 5. Take away x1, that's another minus 3. Now, 8 minus 4 is definitely going to be 4. And 5 minus minus. Now, when this happens, the minus minus change to plus. So 5 plus 3 is definitely going to be 8. And now the gradient in the simplest form is 1 over 2. So for this question, the gradient again, the gradient is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. y2 is 10 minus y1 is 7, x2 is 1 minus x1 is 3. So 10 minus 7 is definitely going to be 3, and 1 minus 3 is going to be minus 2. So the gradient is minus 3 over 2. For this, again, we want to work out the gradient. Now, the gradient is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, and y2 is minus 9. Take away y1, which is going to be another minus 1, and x2 is minus 3. Take away x1, which is 1. Now, this is going to simplify to minus 9 plus 1. And of course, minus 1 minus 3 is going to be minus 4. So minus 9 plus 1 is definitely going to be minus 8 divided by minus 4. And if we cancel, it's going to be 2. So the gradient here is definitely going to be minus 2. Again, for this question, we want to work out the gradient. And I like to write down the formula. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And again, just for clarity, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 is minus 3 minus y1 is 1, and divided by x2, which is just 3. Take away x1, which is just 1. Now, minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4, and 3 minus 1 is just 2. And if you simplify it, if you cancel this out, there's going to be minus 2. So the gradient for these two coordinates is definitely going to be minus 2. Again, for this one, the gradient is going to be y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Now, y2 is definitely going to be 9 minus y1 is going to be another minus 1. And x2 here is minus 2 minus, and x1 is definitely going to be 3. So 9 minus minus is going to be plus. So 9 plus 1 is 10. And minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. And the gradient here is going to be minus 2. And now we have another one. Find the gradient of the line passing through these two coordinates. So my gradient again is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Y2 is 10 minus y1, which is going to be another minus 2 here. And x2 is minus 3 minus, and another x1 is going to be minus 1. So minus minus change to plus. So 10 plus 2 is 12. And here, minus minus is plus 1. Okay, minus minus is plus. So you're going to have minus 3 plus 1 is definitely going to be minus 2. So 12 divided by minus 2 is definitely going to be minus 6. And for this one, again, the gradient is y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Again, y2 is 7 minus y1, which is 4, and x2, which is minus 5, and x1, which is going to be minus 3. Now, again, we simplify. 7 minus 4 is 3. And minus minus here is a plus. So minus 5 plus 3 is definitely going to be minus 2. So the answer is minus 3 over 2. And then we come to Let's do a tricky one. So the line AB passes through the coordinate 2 minus 1 and C is K. And the gradient of the line is given by 5. So we want to work out the value of K. So we know that gradient MA is the same as y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Now we know the gradient is 5, so replace M with 5. And then we start up. Our y2 here is K minus y1, which is minus 1. And x2 here is 6 minus 2. Now, if you try to simplify this, minus and minus kind of visit each other, becomes a plus. So you have K plus 1 and 6 minus 2 is 4. So what we can do is to multiply 4 and 5. So that's going to be 20. And then you have K plus 1. And then you can subtract 1 on both sides. 20 minus 1. So K is definitely going to be 19. And then the next one, the line AB passes through this coordinate. And the gradient of the line is 4. So let's work out the value of K. Again, we're going to start out like before. So gradient is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. The gradient is already 4. And y2 here is the 12 minus y1, which is 4. And x2, which is definitely going to be k, minus x1 is another minus 3. Now, if you try to simplify this, you're going to have 4. And 12 minus 4 is 8. And minus minus is plus, so you have k plus 3. So what we can do is to multiply k plus 3 times 4 on the left. So you're going to have, I think you're going to have 4 bracket k plus 3 equals 8. And for me, I think I can divide this by 4. So k plus 3 is already 2 here. And to get k, you have to subtract 3 on both sides. So k is going to be 2 minus 3. So k is going to be minus 1. And so we go to the next question. I guess is the last question. So the line AB passes through the point and this, and the gradient of the line is minus 2. So we want to work out the value of K. So we start out as usual. MA is going to be y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Now the gradient here is minus 2. So y2 here is 8 minus K. So y1 is K. And x2 here is definitely going to be 4 minus 2. So if you try to simplify this, there's going to be minus 2, 8 minus k. And minus minus kind of facing each other because a plus. So 4 plus 2 is then going to be 6. And now we're going to multiply 6 and minus 2. So that's going to be minus 12. And then that's going to be equal to 8 minus k. Okay, so you want to know how you're going to do this? Okay, you're going to subtract, kind of bring k to the left and bring minus 12 to the right. So if we add plus k on both sides, so it's going to be k on the left, and then add 12 on both sides, so you're going to 8 plus 12. So k is then going to be 8 plus 12 is 20. All right, so that's it. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you.